What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. We are all back tonight, and we're going to catch up on some recent events. It's been a while since we were all here, but first, if you're looking for top quality HVACR tools, Trutech Tools is here to help. From instruments to hand tools, in stock and shipped fast, they have you covered to get the job done right. Visit TrutechTools.com. Quality tools, essential support. So I want to thank Trutech Tools for coming on board. I've been a longtime customer of theirs. They've got a lot of my money, and they're going to get a lot more because I'm about to order a new Vito. So what's going on, guys?
What's going on? What's going on?
Just another day, you know.
I'm excited to catch up. I know we've got
it's been way too long.
A bunch of pre-recorded episodes the last month. I've kind of been all over the place. Jason's had some traveling. Rich has been working too damn much, I think, and so let's just get right into it. Rich, I want to start with you though, because you've got a pretty big, a pretty cool story. So you've been in business not quite a year yet, or right at a year, right?
So next month, April Fool's Day will be a year.
April Fool's Day, how fit?
We joke around. We wonder if when I put in my 2 weeks, if they thought it was an April Fool's prank because it was on April 1st.
Funny. So Rich has hired his first full-time non-family member employee. So congratulations, Rich.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know it's been a long time coming. Yeah, you've been grinding it out multiple 12, 15, 16-hour days, and I know it's a big deal. And I know you've been you didn't take it lightly. You've had a lot of great interviews, but you're just looking for that right person. I'm glad you found that person.
Yeah, this dude's killing it. I mean, I worked with him, for right around 3 years, so I kind of knew everything about him. We still had, a conversation because I wanted to know what he was looking for, and I also wanted to make sure he understood that, like, my business is killing it, but I'm still a new small business, so there's always that risk. But he was down with it. He talked to his wife. His wife was like, "Yo, let's do it." At least, I don't want. I'm not trying to talk bad about where he was before, but she was like, "At least you'll be somewhere that appreciates you, respects you, whatever." And they were like, "Yo, let's do it." And I mean, he's been with me 3 days now, and he's killing it. I mean, everything I knew he was gonna bring to the company, he's brought. So I'm grateful. He said it was weird because me and my wife have both been like, "Man, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you, whatever." And he's like, he's heard in the past few days that he's appreciated so much. He's like, it felt weird. He's like, "This is what it feels like to be appreciated. That's a weird feeling." I'm like, dude, you're killing it right now. You know what I mean? I couldn't be doing the stuff that I've been able to do this week if he hadn't been doing his part. So,
well, it's going to free you up to grow the business, do some of the business stuff on the back end. Chase some new customers, some new leads. It's going to free you up to do some other things. Then you get your boys out there killing it. You said they were out hanging an evaporator running line sets today and a walk-in cooler. I mean, so I'm really proud to see what you've done in the last year, and I look forward to see what you're going to do in the future, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah, my oldest, he's getting real good at the walk-in box installs. He's not, I haven't really taught him how to braze yet, so he's not doing the final connections. But I mean, he can get to the point where all I got to do is come in and do the final connections, and then over the next couple months, I'll practice brazing with him, and then also I use press tools a lot, so I'll just make sure he understands how to do it properly and whatnot, and he'll be able to run installs. My second oldest started doing installs with us, and then either if we're slow, me and the other guy I hired will be there. If not, I got some friends that they do construction and stuff like that, and I bring them in when we need an extra hand on jobs like that. So yeah, it's good.
Nice. So February was kind of wild for myself. Jason was in there a little bit too. So the show was actually nominated for Podcast of the Year at the HVAC Tactical Awards. So Jason and I were there. We did lose to Brett Wetzel. Hell of a guy, hell of a show. That dude is a freaking genius, and he deserved it. So he's the first two-time winner of a tactical award, and he's the first person to win, back-to-back years in two different categories, of course. But I'm proud of Brett, and I'm excited that we got nominated. We were up there. That was cool seeing our picture up there, all three of us. I did a little Photoshop because all three of us have never been in the same room at the same time. So we're still going to sometime, I promise. But so that was super cool. So I actually started off in Orlando. I went to the HVAC School Symposium. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but Brian Orr and Kalos and HVAC School puts us on, And it's a 2-day training symposium. There's all kinds of things there. There was 3 stages. There's a vendor row where they show off their tools and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm not an HVAC guy. I'm a commercial kitchen repair guy. I do refrigeration. I was like, man, nothing here is going to pertain to me. And I started sitting in some of these trainings, man, and I learned a ton there. It wasn't all just directed towards heat pumps or that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different stuff there and a lot of opportunities to learn. And I was really glad I went. So if you ever get a chance to go check that out and you have some free time, it was really cool. Plus, I got to meet a lot of cool people. I got to see my buddy Mr. Castle again. He was actually took my class last year, and he was down there, so we got to hang out for a little bit. But that's how I started February. And then that weekend, we did the tactical awards. Jason and I and our lovely wives were there, and we had a great time. And then we lost, but I can't complain. And then Monday was right to AHR. I recorded 3 shows. Jason was there for the first day. Him and his wife, and then they ran around. He showed us show, and then he took off and went to RIFMA.
Las Vegas.
Yep. So you want to go ahead and explain what RIFMA is for people who don't maybe not know what that is?
Yeah. So especially for those in the commercial kitchen spaces, hospitality, food like that, it's the Restaurant Facility Management Association. It's kind of like IFMA if you're not working in the food space and you're handling Class A building engineering, lead work and things like that. But it all revolves around providers and restaurants, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a restaurant. It could be a like Publix, a grocery store, anything to do with food. That's where a lot of the facility managers get to network, and there's a small governing body that kind of gives you tests, and so you can get certified so that you can be pretty proficient in your trade. But yeah, it was a very good experience. That's my I guess my 3rd type of trade show, because I've been to AHR, I've been to NAFM, and now I've been to RIFMA, and it was a pretty good experience. I got to meet up with other Fed groups with Rich Maliki, Josh Solin. Got to see Danny Coons. He was retiring out of RIFMA. He was there, one of the original participants in the development and the founding, around that group when it first came out, over 2 decades ago. And it was just really nice to see a lot of people and put a lot of faces to names, a lot of providers I deal with in my industry as a facilities manager in restaurants and things like that. And that were on the, that are on the service side and on the restaurant side. So I've been on both, and I'm really enjoying being, running in that new circle. And I kind of just hit the ground running just because of my background in commercial kitchen work.
Did you have some travel issues while you were gone?
Well,
you can blame David for this.
Yeah. Well, the Monday I was supposed to fly out of Orlando, and my car broke down the day before, so we had to go to Ford. So got to the airport. I missed my flight. Had to take an Uber home back to Riverview from Orlando. That was about $170 out of my pocket. Had to get a flight first thing in the morning Tuesday, so I could try to get to Vegas hopefully by 10:30, just to find out that when I booked my ticket the evening before at the Orlando airport for 6 a.m. in the morning, the app that I was using actually wasn't for February, it was actually for March. So when I arrived at the airport the next morning at 3:34 in the morning and get up to the line, they're like, yeah, it's for 6 a.m., but for next month. So it's like, could you please help me get to Vegas? So yeah, they put me on another flight, had to cough up some more money out of my pocket, and got to Vegas by noon. But that was a very long day because I didn't realize, I've never been to Nevada. So I didn't realize it was like right next to California. I was completely on the other coast. So I'm flying into the time zone. So I got there quickly, but I was exhausted. And then the time difference, I was up because of the events till like midnight. That's 3 o'clock here. I'm an old person. So, and then I guess for the first time in over 300 days, when I was trying to leave, it rained, and that airport's not used to rain. People driving's not used to rain because it's not a rainy place. So accidents, backed up traffic, everything was grounded at the airport. I watched my luggage sit out with everyone else's sit out on the little vehicle that brings it out. It's just getting poured on. We're just staring out the window looking like, yeah, that's not cool. So it was, aside from the travel which took me some time to recover from the time lapse and the red eye and whatnot. Malik was trying to take the flight after mine. He didn't leave for days. That's how bad it got. A lot of people, like, everything got canceled. Everyone got pushed back into hotels, for a day or two. And I was lucked out, I lucked out and got home. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. That was a pretty good experience.
Sounds like a lot of fun there. So that's wild. So we first day we recorded with the Viper Vixens, we had Ash and Becca on, our friends, and then Tuesday I had Bridget on. I had Michael Provenzano and Joe Devries on. They talked about the new press tool, and then Wednesday I had Nadeem from Watts on to talk about backflow and interconnected backflow stuff. So I had a pretty good. It was booked out. I mean, that's pretty good shows. We did good. I lost in the Viper Bowl on Tuesday. I had a booth appearance at Amber Controls. It was myself and Adrian, Mr. Reliable HVACR, and I've never brazed 3-inch copper before. And they had the new torch. Like, oh yeah, you can braze 3-inch. And Adrian's like, here you go, you got it. And he just walked off and left me with the torch in front of the cameras and all these people. And I'm like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here, 3-inch, dude. I was like, just heat it up, hope for the best, man. So, but it was a good show. It was a lot of fun. We had an Airbnb with Mechanical Environments, Matt and Megan, and we had a lot of fun hanging out with them. We did a pool day on Saturday. We did dinner Saturday night with Jason. We went to, what was that, Rodizio?
Yeah, it was a Brazilian steakhouse. Yeah, we left there full.
And Rich nice. Photoshopped himself into a picture immediately.
I forgot I did that. That was
Rich. Fun. I looked everywhere for those the
heads.
Those heads I had, and I couldn't find them, and I waited to the last minute, and then when I got over there, she's like, "Yeah, it's in the closet." I'm like, just failed 2 years in a row. Next year it'll be there, I promise.
Next year,
and then that'll be the year I show up and then you have it.
This keeps going. We're just going to get our own table at the Tactical Awards. It's like, how much is it for a table, Ben?
Yeah, for real.
But no, I mean, it was a blast. AHR is different. I mean, if you have time to go and you can get away for a few days and just check it out, the people are there, and then all the different tool manufacturers and then equipment manufacturers. I come from a restaurant background, so I don't do a ton of HVAC, but there's still a lot of cool stuff there. Copeland was there. They have a R290 scroll they're releasing. It's pretty cool. It can be fixed speed or it can be variable speeds. They have a proprietary VFD that is all intrinsically sealed for the R290. That was pretty cool to learn about. Unfortunately, my audio took a crap and didn't work, so I don't have that interview anymore. So, but there's a lot of cool stuff there. Other than that, AHR was a blast. It goes by too fast, and then drive home for 15 hours. So, and then I went to Wet in Indianapolis, hung out the Rigid booth for a couple of days, and all I did was just play press tools and hang out, and talk to people, and tell people about press tools. And then last week was NAFM. So I went to Atlanta for the week. We got in Monday. Show was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Did 3 days there. Just running around like a madman trying to see everybody I needed to see. That'd be a good one for you to go to in the future, Rich, because a lot of manufacturers there. You can in NAFM, there's a lot more service people there than say NRA in Chicago.
Okay.
So you can get in there and you can get some service people and some other people maybe so you can bring on some manufacturers to be an ASA for some more stuff. That'd be a good opportunity.
I can get face to face with the people that ignore my emails.
100%.
What's the tone of these emails, Richard?
I'd rather not say. Actually, you'd be impressed by my emails. I mean, I'm impressed by my emails.
Even ChatGPT is like, no, Rich, no, let's not do this.
So I'll tell you what I do. So I've got ChatGPT trained pretty well. So like I'll type out whatever I want to send, and then I'll throw it in ChatGPT, and I'll tell them fix it, but still sound like me. And I've done that enough that ChatGPT knows what I sound like, so it'll clean it up without losing that rich flair.
But it'll still be direct.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you can do wild stuff with ChatGPT. I was talking with Brett, and he's got his like program to pretty much do everything for him. Like he's got it set up to where it'll make like promo. Say if he wants to make a promo, he just like puts in who the guest is, like what the topic is, and he doesn't even hardly type anything in. Like it'll go out to the internet, it'll search that person, that topic, and it'll like just import it all for him. I'm like that's what I need to do.
So
Yeah,
I think
my
that works
son,
by.
he hooked me up on ChatGPT, and it gave him most of my bio.
Damn. I heard you got to pay for if you get the subscription, right? It starts to remember everything, or
you can make your own chat GPTs if you have the subscription.
Yeah, but even with the free version, if you communicate with it enough, it gets to know you. Because I can be like, type whatever and sound like me, and it'll come pretty close.
I use it for my work emails, and someone calls me out every single time when I send it. Like, man, ChatGPT did a good job. I was like, man, I put all the information in there. It just made it look good.
They're like, there's no cuss words in it. That's why it was ChatGPT. I will say this: those self-cleaning condensers, I would say they're the second biggest scam in history.
Mm-hmm. Theirs is like just the up and down brush. Now the one, I think Turbo Air has the one that spins and goes up and down. I don't know if it does any better, but
that's even worse.
Every structural one I've ever seen just like packs it in the coil even more. It's like just shoves it in there. Like, here, let's just, you don't see it on the face, but you know, you're bouncing off the pressure controls.
The Turbo Air ones, they just smear the grease everywhere as they spin.
And so those aren't designed for a kitchen. They're not designed for that environment with the grease migration.
They're designed for sales. Save on service calls with our self-cleaning condenser. No, it's gonna cost you a whole lot more. Because now I got to disassemble a whole thing just to clean your condenser.
Yeah, I was surprised I got it down, dude. It took me like an hour and a half to clean this thing like 3 times. I'm like, this is retarded. I was so mad, dude. I wanted to call a guy and scream. I was like, I can't do it. So Muhammad Hassan wants to know the best combi to work on. It's up in the air, man. They all have their pros and cons.
Chris said they smear it like a robot vacuum smears dog crap. And there's no lies detected in that statement.
He's talking about IRO.
The
little hover joint.
Yeah, dude. The Turbo Air ones, I don't know. I've only seen like 2 of them, and they weren't in a kitchen environment. If it's in a kitchen, it's gonna be nasty. At that point, what do you do? Just like cut the coil out and clean it, or just replace it?
I think you're better off replacing the coil than cleaning it. I mean, the amount of time that goes into it, you'd be better off replacing it.
I know there's probably that one guy in that one Facebook group who probably cut it out and clean it and burn the wall when he put it back in.
You're talking about the guy that uses compressed air to pressure test and 100-yard hoses.
Yeah.
100-yard quarter-inch hoses to pull a vacuum.
I'm reclaiming this from the truck. It's 3 buildings down.
Starts recovering at 8 a.m., comes back next Wednesday.
A whole charges in his hose. It's like, dude, why is my hose weighs 37 pounds? Because you get a full tank of gas in it, dude. There's none in the unit.
You think that thing would collapse?
Dude, think about that. You used compressed air to pressure test it, and then you're pulling it through mile-long quarter-inch hoses.
It's like Matthew McConaughey.
Dude, I keep leaving that group and getting added back into it somehow. I'm like, how do I keep getting back in here?
That's funny because people be tripping. They're like, Rich, you're an admin. Why are you making these comments? I'm like, first of all, I didn't ask to be an admin. I don't know how that happened.
That guy hearted my comment about what that poor wall do to you. He hearted it just now, like 5 minutes ago. So he welded strut on top of strut. So he's welding galvanized material for one, probably just hovering over it, breathing it in. And it's up against a FRP wall, and the wall's just burnt to shit. And he was like all proud of it.
Oh man,
you could have like unscrewed that from the wall and like done it in the other room, man.
Dude. So my old supervisor, I told him one time, I said, it takes all types to make the world go round. And he said, yeah, but sometimes I wish you would speed up and fling them off.
Oh my god. Oh, I love it. I will use it.
Yo, excuse me for a sec. I'll be right back.
Jason's laughing too hard.
HR can't be a part of this conversation tonight. He's like, you guys are too wild tonight for me. I can't do it. That's funny. But that's funny. Oh my god,
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that group is something else, man. Like, and there's only two people posting there, me and him.
Right.
And his is always a picture of himself. Like, it's a group about commercial kitchen techs, and in the group pictures, your big old face.
Yeah, I wondered about that too.
I'm going to hell for this one, man. I already feel it.
Bro, oh my god, that's too funny, bro. Sometimes
So
I'd be like, he'd be posting pictures and it's like 4 days at the same job site. Something simple, still changing this in that valve.
he's using a pocket screwdriver. I'll get it out. I don't. What's the name of the group? Hold on, I gotta go find it now. Someone would ask.
It's too bad.
Yeah. Stuart wants to know
I
what
think
it
it's
is.
commercial and industrial appliance. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I don't
commercial
even know. I'm an admin and I'm not even sure of the name.
commercial appliance repair service group.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think he changed the name of it.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
And if you remember, somebody joined the group and started posting bad reviews about him.
he left it up.
That was funny. Somebody joined his group just to post negative reviews.
Dude, there was a ton of them
Do you
too,
make him
man.
an admin?
Dude, I screenshot them all. I was like, I'm saving all these. These are golden.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
What's going on in DFW there, Taz? Where are you headed, buddy? Taz is watching from DFW. Who knows where he's off to?
Oh, Taz is on. Elijah Craig. I had to swap out what I was drinking. I did not like it.
Is that what it was? We thought you didn't want to be a part of the conversation as HR.
Oh, okay. No, I had this Basil Hayden, just not great. No, just poured it out and got a Elijah Craig.
Kitchen Cowboy said that's one hell of a cover pick.
Dude,
Went to the group.
it's his big old face, dude. All Walmart
still pulling this vacuum. Started this vacuum in 1997.
Taz, you can't get away from Walmart. You don't even work for Walmart, and you're still at Walmart all the time. I guess it's a pretty big customer for them now. So, Jason, what's going on with you? Just facility stuff every day, normal stuff.
Yep, 24/7.
You get staring at emails all the time, or what?
Trying to keep up with them. Proposals, just boring stuff.
Nice.
I signed up for.
Just hit approve all. As the owner of a service company, bro, just hit approve all.
Yeah,
no.
I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Well, actually, I don't really care because I don't service Outback yet, but I will.
No,
one
we
day.
got a lot of good feedback on the episode with Taylor.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Good episode.
Yeah, she really had fun. She enjoyed herself.
Yeah, so people were really excited, and they learned a lot from her side of it and stuff. So that was really cool to see. She was another great guest. Total Tech, damn, how you can be Curtis like that? The Total Tech knows what it is. We don't know who he is, but he knows the group owner by name.
That might be him.
Oh,
I think we figured it out. Total Tech is Curtis. Let us see your recovery setup at Total Tech.
That's fun. So
yes, Taz, 24/7. It's my turn.
Yeah, that email probably goes crazy for you guys. So how does it work? Say someone at one of your locations needs service or sometimes be approved. It all has to run through you, or are they allowed to approve a certain amount themselves, or what?
Well, a lot of different hospitality groups do it differently, but I think most of them have the general manager setup where all the decisions come from corporate. But whenever you go to an establishment and you see a proprietor's name on the front door, there's a good chance that there's a percentage of the business that they're responsible for. So it's considered owner operated, even though the majority of it's owned by corporate. And so with that being said, partially corporate, so that owner operator has a certain threshold that they're allowed to approve up to. Once that's done, Once you hit that threshold, it needs to go up to the next person, which is like a district manager. Once their threshold is met, it needs to go to like a market vice president. My authority would be anything that would be brand damaging, exhaust down, water heaters down, backups. And when it regards to brand damaging, like backup, sewage backups and things like that. And then I have authority to just step in and make decisions, but those are normally for emergencies. Everything else, we're just the liaison between the stores and the providers. And then with my skill set, my big thing is just, letting the stores know that I can support them. And if they have any issues with, they feel that there's a lot of callbacks, I do what we've talked about, which is technical audits. I say, hey, how many times have they been out for this walk-in, this piece of equipment? Send me the invoices. I will read them. I will see what the technician says they're doing or what they think they're saying they're doing. And I'll go through those, and then I'll put the story together, and in short order, I'll say, hey, okay, this person's a parts changer. This person's pretty sincere about what they believe is going on here, or this person's right on, and these are underlining issues you wouldn't have realized without doing the best you could. And then if it goes down, hey, come back, and then, because I've been through that where I really think like I knocked it out of the park, and just to find out several months later, I'm back on this piece of equipment, and I'm thinking like, okay, I know what I did last time. I looked through the history just to find out that other people were there. I read their notes and be like, okay, hey, they figured it out, and I'm the one who screwed it up, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I do outside of the actual authority of approving emergencies. I try to just be a good liaison to my stores.
That's cool. It's a different outlook. I never realized, what all exactly, I knew you facilitate a lot of stuff. I wasn't sure exactly how and what.
Yeah, and we want to. I'm here to in the background trying to make sure the business stays open. So I'm looking at compliance with municipalities, like the backflow fire sprinklers, grease traps. The municipalities show up and whatnot, and they'll call me and be like, hey, Jay, I'm trying to run this business. They're saying this, that, or the other. Here's the letter they sent. And then I'll go track that down, look up the history, and then once that happens, I try to make it where it doesn't happen again. So I'll set up a PM program or adjust the frequency of whatever's going on, whether it's a backflow test or a grease trap pumping and things like that. And just try to make it run seamlessly so they can focus on customer service and taking care of their customers.
One thing I'll say, as an operator, having a facilities manager that you're dealing with that has the experience, dude, that is like an invaluable resource. One of my biggest accounts, the facilities manager they had when I started, he knew his stuff. I don't know if he ever worked in the field, but he at least did the facilities part long enough. He knew stuff. Anything I told him, any quote we sent, I could send him a quote and it would be approved within 15 minutes because he knew that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Then they had some changes and they've got a guy in there who doesn't have the experience. And it's like a lot of times we got to go round and round talking about the same stuff. He said, well, what about this? And I'm kind of like, it doesn't really work like that. You know what I mean? Or no, bro, like read the quote. The quote says exactly what you're asking me, whatever. So yeah, you're an invaluable resource for the people doing service, let alone the restaurants.
Well, let me tell you how my introduction was to a lot of these. It's been a year. I'd say 80% of them are like, oh, thank goodness, somebody who's going to understand when we call you the urgency and, that we're not messing around, that we're really doing our best, or this is what's going on. And then there's 20% that was like, oh, they're like, oh, damn. I was like, yeah,
now we
yeah,
can't get
I'm
over
reading
on
your
you.
stuff. And some of them aren't with us anymore because, I'm just like, okay, there's some embedded habits here.
For someone like me, you're an invaluable resource. To some other people, you're their worst nightmare.
Hey, I can deal with 20% because I'll just replace them. I'll vet somebody. And my big thing is I don't care for national, and this is my opinion. I don't care for national accounts. That's just who I am. And we had this conversation with Taylor on the phone. So she has multiple states. I have one. I have half of a whole state. All my stores are clustered in half a state. So my preference is
South
to
Carolina.
Unfortunately, it isn't, sir. So I like, instead of having these big conglomerates and private equity, everyone trying to, they're up north, but they want to sub out, or they just kind of want to be everywhere. And it's hard to keep people, hold accountable. I like to find companies like yourself, and even Pat's, companies like Pat's. I love working with them, but they have branches in my state. I want to be able to hold someone responsible or accountable. Let me use it that way. I want to hold someone accountable. I want to know that if you do something, when I call your boss, it's not because they're in DC or in the other coast, and they're like, we'll get someone else out there. I want relationships. I want my stores to know when Rich is there and they're happy. That's their preferred tech, and versus just subs or a revolving door of different people, because you're such a big conglomerate that you're treat people like numbers or whatnot. But yeah, it's been a pretty cool experience, and I feel pretty comfortable in it, because aside from the emails, I hate emails. I'm learning that. I've learned that a long time ago. Actually, I really hate them.
You learned that pretty fast.
I learned that pretty fast, because I want to be in the stores in the daytime. I want to go on the roof. I want to do maintenance visits. I want to take managers and KMs and porters, bring them up on the roof, do a perimeter check, do a walk around the units, open up the units, explain why the drain line needs to, the drain line needs to be full of water, how to verify that these filters were changed when they were supposed to be changed, make sure that your providers are writing dates and initials on those filters, on those belts. And then you can, and then I'll show them how to pull up the history and verify that these providers are actually doing what they're said they're doing in the time that they said they did it.
My bad.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off. Total Tech went to the post where the guy was using compressed air. He's copying and pasting the post into the chat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's my ADD kicking in.
I thought that was Total Tech that was saying that.
For a second, I thought it was. And then as I read it, I'm like, wait, that's what that guy said.
So where was I? You're on your second drink. What are you drinking, Rich?
Yeah. I'm a baller, right? Costco, Kirkland brand spiced rum. It's like $17 for this bottle. This is leftover from Coquito season. That's why it's so low.
You use dark for your Coquito, not silver?
Yeah,
okay.
I
you like the spice,
rum.
huh?
Yeah, it gives it a little extra flavor.
Man, you're over there rumming it up, man. I got one, maybe this is like 3 ounce.
I got bottles of blatant gold that was smuggled from Canada from my friend HVACJ.
I got my drinking ability from my abuelita.
So Chris Stevens, he does a lot of facilities guys. And he said, each chain is a different way to handle facilities management too. Some of his are similar to Jason described, some are different. And then he also said that, he has one of those facility managers, like, Rich said, that he's nervous to send it over to, because they approve it as soon as it comes through. Like Rich said that, he's pulling out of the parking lot, they're hitting submit, and it's already approved before he gets out of the parking lot.
And I'm talking about it's been 9 o'clock at night, and I've submitted a quote. And then, like, before I get out the parking lot, he's like, approved. Like, me and him had a couple conversations. He knew that I knew what I was talking about. So whatever I told him, he's like, you're good to go.
Hey, it's after 5 o'clock there, Chris. You'll be all right.
This ain't no AA meeting, Chris. When's the last time we had Chris on? What's up?
That's been a long time. I love that.
Have we ever had him on?
Yeah, he's been on. Yep.
Not when I was on.
Was that before my time?
Before me, right?
It was a long time ago. It was right at the beginning. I'd love to have Chris back on.
Chris, we'd like to have you on, buddy.
I think Pat's trying to say he had better guests before we joined.
No.
Oh, snap.
No.
Oh,
okay. I got lucky. That's almost it. He's
a co-host.
I talked to Chris quite a bit at AHR. Hung out with him and his wife a little bit. Great people. I love, what Chris does as far as showing everybody his videos, and he's not one of
I'll tell you this. Chris made a video. This has been years now, and I've seen it, and it actually changed the way I view a lot of stuff. And he said something along the lines of, like, when you get that OT call, you know what I mean, and like the evap's frozen or something that you knew, has been going on for a while. He's like, don't ask when it started. He's like, because all it's going to do is piss you off.
Yeah, don't frustrate yourself.
Yeah. He's like, don't frustrate yourself. He's like, don't ask when it started. Just do the work and you'll get it done and go home. And I was like, you know what? That's some solid advice right there.
I love Chris, because he'll go out and he'll do an overtime call and he'll be leaking. He'll be like, he'll put some gas in it and get it running, and he'll do a quick leak check and be like, I'm not going to waste my Saturday or Sunday here. It's not advantageous for me to leak right now. It's going to cost the customer so much more money. I can come back next week. It'll be fine until I come back. He comes back and finds it. But he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't stress about it, just you got to let it go.
Speaking about that frustration, I mean, I wish somebody said something to me before, but my first 3 years out of college, out of tech school, into Steak and Shake, and I was responsible for my own dozen stores and 30 on the weekend, and for me to be called out at 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning for a frozen evaporator just to arrive and still see the door open with a trash bag tied around the handle that looks like it's been beat up and tied on there for weeks, mounted to the door. I walk in there and they're like, yeah, it's frozen. I'm like, yeah, the door's still open. When did this happen? It takes, I go right into it takes at least 48 hours for this to happen. And if every shift change, you guys have a booklet, you're supposed to write down what the temperatures are in here. Who is doing that? Where's the booklet? They're just looking at me like, man, I don't get paid enough for this. We called you, you're here. Just take care of it.
Stall it out.
Yeah. That's why I default back to Chris. I picture that video.
And then I'm just stressed out. And so I'm back there with hot water flooding to walk in.
Yeah, your boxes
flooding the floor, so they got to mop it.
You're like, your boxes are soaked? I don't give a damn.
This was right out of school. People forgive me.
I love it.
Wasn't being petty.
A walk-in cooler and like the ice on. It's not even frost anymore. It's actually ice on.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this took weeks.
That's
like, how are you guys serving food out of this thing, dude? I'm like, that took weeks for it to turn to ice past frost, man.
When I was still in Florida, we had this customer that we did a change out on his walk-in. Everything was great. And then randomly he started calling in freeze ups. And we checked everything. I'm like, dude, y'all got to be leaving the door open. No, they don't leave the door open. So one time I decided to surprise visit him. I walk in and it was just what you said. The door was tied open. Nobody going in and out of the walk-in. None of that crap. I walked straight to his bar, grabbed him by the arm and said, come back here.
He got physical.
Showed him that. He's like, oh. What I ended up doing, though, was I went up top, installed the defrost clock, and like at 2 a.m. every morning, it thawed out for 2 hours and then kicked back on. No more callbacks.
People are amazing what they do, man. And then they think they can lie about it. It's like, I know what's going on here. I'm not that dumb. And like, just look around. You can see like a bungee cord that's like tucked over in the corner. And like, why is there a bungee cord over here? There's only one.
What's funny is they all use the same lies. That's the funny part. Like nobody comes up with anything new. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bungee cords, don't want to see them. The trash bags, don't want to see them.
Aprons.
Electric pressure washers inside the building, I don't want to see them. Oh, the fryer won't turn on now that we pressure wash the components inside.
Hey,
yeah, no.
Listen,
yeah,
I'm making a lot of money because of a pressure washer. One of my customers, one of his locations, his last manager pressure washed everything. She thought she was doing a good favor, a good deed for them, And the regional, he's like, well, everything came out really clean.
Right?
He's like trying to look at the positive. He's like, after she was done, everything came out really clean. Nothing works anymore, but it came out really clean.
You can just see that cape flapping in the wind.
I had a store that they were boiling out their fryers and they were pumping the water into the grease collection system instead of just dumping it on the drain. And the pump locked up and they're like, I don't know why it locked up. We were just pumping water out. I'm like, it's a grease pump, not a water pump. I'm like,
yeah, I had a location one time call me because the fryer, the oil was boiling. So I looked up the boiling point of oil and I'm like, if your oil is boiling, you're dead. And what it was is they were washing the filter pan and not drying it.
Yeah.
It was all the water was boiling. But I'm like, yeah, I screenshotted the boiling point of oil. I'm like, if your oil is boiling, you're dead. So no, it's not. I said, let it run for an hour and call me back if it's still a problem.
I got a photo of when Steak and Shake before they went to the Taylor machines that does everything for the shakes. Now it used to be there was dipping station. But they had these triple Hamilton Beach blenders that you just put the thing there, you hold it in. I have a few photos where I found that inside the AM14 dishwasher, the whole thing in multiple occasions. And then how I would find out was I had a string of all these calls for a few months. Everyone's saying they're shocking themselves when they pull the little switch. I'm just like, really? So I'm just like, did it rip? You just need to put a new boot on there, screw a new boot on there. Like, no, the whole thing just shocks me. So I opened it up. I'm like, unscrew it, and then I see some drops come out of the little rubber boot. I'm like, what? So I opened up the top. I'm like, how is there water in here? So I dry it out, clean it, good to go, made sure everything was grounded. Then I get a call again. And it wasn't it wasn't just one location, it was two of them. Same traveling porter. But then one day I walked in and that thing was on a rack sideways, just came out of a AM14 Hobart dishwasher. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's what they're doing. They're washing the whole blender in the washer machine, in the dishwasher. Who does this?
I had a turbo chef one time, not as bad, but close. I forget what the exact call was. I mean, not working. The fuses were blown. So I changed the fuses. And then at a certain point, the brand new fuses blow. So I'm like, what's going on? So I start looking and I start seeing like an oily residue all over a bunch of components. And I'm like, first it looked like liquid. So I'm like, did y'all wash this down or did something happen? Oh yeah, the fire system went off and it doused this thing for like 3 minutes straight. I'm like, you couldn't tell me that before we started the call?
Is that Ansel or just the sprinklers?
It was the hood that went off. I guess whatever chemical they had, it left like an oily residue and it just kept shorting everything out at a certain point.
So
by the time we done quoted them, they're like, we're just gonna buy a new one. I'm like, yeah.
So sorry, Heath, I missed your comment. I see your question mark. I had to go back and look. So he has a question. Rich, as a small business yourself, who do you like working for more? Small business, single restaurant owners, or franchise owners?
So me, I do better with bigger accounts than I do with like independents. I thought I was going to knock it out the park with independents, but for whatever reason, I don't do as well with them. I do good with like project managers, with facility managers, with multiple location owners, people that have experience and maybe they've just been screwed around a lot or whatever. That's the people I do the best with. I mean, I I'm me, like the way y'all see me all the time. So I tell them like it is, this is what we could do. This is what we can't do. This is what your problem is. And they tend to love me. So that's who I do the best with.
So Rich, do you love them though? Because I have to say this, after we left meeting you and your wife, Kelly was like, yeah, Rich's wife said she was surprised that, Rich actually liked you.
Wait, what happened?
Your wife said she was surprised that you actually like me.
Okay, first of all, my wife was surprised if I like anybody.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what she said. She said she was surprised that you like me because you don't like anybody.
Yeah. No, that's what's cool. I've been fortunate where my customers, I actually really do like the customers I have. And like I have a genuine appreciation for them. But most of them are cool. Like I just got approved an RTU change out. And I was talking with a guy from corporate, and he was like, so have you actually done any work for us? Because I know you're a new vendor for us, whatever. And I told him, I'm like, yo, like y'all are really cool. Like, your managers, your staff are easygoing, we walk in, we do what we got to do. They're chill, whatever. And that's how most of my customers have been since I started. I got a couple that, had a few complaints here and there. They haven't called me back, but I mean, I'm completely fine with it. But yeah, I legit like the bulk of the customers that I have and have an actual good relationship with them.
So would you say, the money's green no matter who pays it, but a bigger budget's better?
Yeah, because so my customers like the fact that I'm thorough, so I've got one customer I recently signed that's a pretty big account. And like the first call they put me on was like a broken on and off valve. And when I replaced it, I checked the other one and I seen the other one was tight. So I'm like, yo, I replaced both of them for you. So you're not calling me back next week. They appreciate that. My tech was just out there the other day fixing one unit and he decided to check their other units. And he was like, hey, you've got like 6 or 8 valves that are going bad on this thing, the burner valves. And they're like, oh, great. Thank you. And put in a service call right away for us to go back to that unit. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Those accounts are better for me. But yeah, I mean, I'll take whoever is willing to pay the money and willing to be easy. Because, some people will pay, but there'll be a hassle. And I'm not about hassles. Like I'll deal with a certain amount of hassle. But if you're just going to be a prick, then go find somebody else.
Nice. I love it.
We can't both be hammers. Someone's got to be a nail, right?
The funny thing is I'm actually pretty easygoing when I'm dealing with people, but it's literally like, because I'm also like, I don't care how much money you spend, like you're not going to be a certain way, you know what I mean? And then now that I'm starting to hire people, you're not going to treat my people any kind of way because you're spending money with us.
Respect, baby, respect.
Yeah, Chris brings up a great point. He says corporate accounts tend to understand that stuff breaks because they have hundreds, if not thousands of restaurants and they get it. Small businesses tend to not understand that stuff breaks So
Yeah.
that makes
And
sense.
corporates tend to understand too that there can be multiple issues. You know what I mean? So you can tell a corporate account, hey, I've got to replace this part just to see if anything else is wrong. And they tend to understand that, where smaller accounts tend to be like, well, you changed that part. Why isn't it working? And it's like, well, if we didn't change this part, I couldn't power the unit on to check anything else. You know what I mean? So that does make it easier. And I did get some advice from somebody who recently sold their company for a ridiculous amount of money. And he dropped in my DMs on LinkedIn, and he was like, hey, my recommendation to you is go after accounts that I think he said that do 4 million per year per location. I forget what he told me their budget is, but they got an insane amount of repair budget if they're doing 4 million a year per location. And I mean, in 10 years, he took his company from 0 to 53 million. So I figured I'd listen to him.
Nice.
Was it solicited or unsolicited?
The advice was unsolicited, and that's funny because
you gotta love that.
He drops in my DMs and he's like, listen, man, I want to give you some advice if you'll take it. And I'm like, bro, you took your company from 0 to 53 million in 10 years. Who am I to tell you no? You can tell me whatever you want. You can call me a retard for all I can.
Full retard.
Around today. Throwing that word around.
But that's another area.
It's on the gauges. It's on the
Yeah.
gauges. I can say what I
That's
want.
another area where I've been blessed, though, man. Like, people constantly want to drop in my DMs on LinkedIn and be like, bro, listen, I don't know if you want to hear it or not, but this is what I would do if I was in your shoes and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, you got 80 technicians. I think I'll listen to what you're saying.
Never turn down a blessing in any form.
And never go potato.
Especially on your gauges.
Especially on
See, that's the downside to digital gauges, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it should just
gauges don't say retard.
It should just like
right. If your digital gauge, if you set it for 134A and it hits 307, it should just flash retard.
No, it just reads it out and gets your temperature like 160 degrees. It was great. It was great. Why can't this cooler get below 32?
So digital's politically correct for the most part.
I wonder
millennials.
if those new ones from Navac say retard.
Yeah, when are those coming in? I can't. My wife and I filled them both out like the same night or the next night, and like it said it was supposed to be 3 weeks. Has it been 3 weeks? And I don't think I have any notification emails from when I did it, because it just asked me to show some sort of proof that I was there. So I sent a partial screenshot of my name and the price of the ticket. I want my gauges.
Sudden blast retard. That'd be great. That'd be absolutely great. Man. So what's next for you guys? Jason, anything on the horizon? Just
trying to hone in my craft and whatnot. Just continue my continuing education and my self-development, like I always preach. It's just been a year into this, and I'm aside from my email trauma, I feel like I'm honestly having a lot of fun, and I've doing the technical audits. I've gotten some of my stores quite a bit of money back just from doing what I do, just using my head, and I've always said that even as an HVAC technician, it's 90% planning and 10% execution. As long as you're, if you're being smart about it and you plan things out, it doesn't have to be physical. You're not spending every day, all day on a roof. But, after doing that for 10 years, it's just like, I like talking about the trades. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I love reading notes. So I'm just kind of having fun doing what I do there. And I really like spending my days in stores. I wait to do the emails at the end of the day if I can, but during the day, I want to be in a store. I want to be on a roof. I want to be crawling. They're like, we've never seen anyone crawl above the drop ceiling, crawl on top of the walk-in. Like, what are you doing up there? I'm like, I'm checking. I'm checking stuff. They're like, why? I'm like, because that's what we're supposed to do. They're like, we've never seen that. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to do it. So I want to intimately know the ins and outs of that building so that I can relay to them so I can foresee what's going on for them to help them out. And it's really a lot of fun. I'm really happy in this aspect, and if we had technicians, that would be even better. So, but that's neither here nor there, maybe in the future.
Rich, anything in the future for you?
Man, just hopefully keeping the same trajectory I've been on. My goal is to have another tech within the next 4 months, and that would be tight, but it's very possible, especially the way things are starting to grow with the tech that I've got right now. So it's just that my 3 to 5 year plan. I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not, but I've got 2 more markets that I want to enter that are both within 2 hours of my current market. So my 3 to 5 year goal is to have 3 to 4 techs in each of those markets. But that's about it, and then hopefully make the HVAC tactical next year.
Those are all very honorable goals, especially HVAC tactical, but even especially growing your business, man. I'm super excited to see that happen.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Super excited to see it as well. I spent the evening with some friends of ours, Austin and Loretta Mueller, on Friday, and they're growing their market. They're growing into different markets and stuff. And I was excited to hear them talk about it, and the passion they had behind it. It's the same passion you have for it, is trying to grow and trying to put the best product out there possible, and to take care of their technicians.
They're just great people, bro. I've had a few conversations, especially with Loretta. We'll text every so often, and they're just like genuinely good people, bro.
She's a ninja, dude. I didn't even see the bill come, and somehow she snagged that bill for dinner. Like, I was like, it came out of nowhere. I was like, how did she do that? I was like, they didn't even ask. I'm like, oh, she just had it. And I'm like, what's going on here? What did I miss? But no, I had a great time with them. We went and toured Hoshizaki. That was really cool to see them making everything right there.
I love the Hoshi factory. I went to training there one time, and at the end they gave us a factory tour. I love that place.
Yeah, it was really cool to see, how much actual production they actually do right there. And they got a huge expansion going on. And they actually make parts and ship it overseas. They make parts here in America and ship them back overseas. So it was really cool to see. Brad, pretty sure I believe it was Brad. Brad Powell did our tour. He was a really smart guy. He's worked there for years. Did a lot of different roles, but that was really cool to see. Now I want one of their big giant cube ice makers now. I seen that in their little Penguin Cafe. So now I got to get one of those. It was like $5,000, $6,000 or something. So,
but more money than sense.
Poor financial decisions if you haven't made it.
You don't even own a business, damn it.
You don't own a business.
I hope you don't have any gambling habits when we go to Vegas next year.
My wife has a little bit of one. I just like to hang out and watch people, so we'll be good. But as far as me moving forward, I got some training opportunities coming up. I'm gonna audit some training stuff. I'm gonna be involved with some other training stuff. So, and I'm just gonna keep trying to grow this. Keep showing off, tradespeople, commercial kitchen repair technicians, all trades, but focus on what we got going on here. We've made some progress. We've grown this industry. I probably should do a better job keeping track of numbers of people that actually came into this industry, but I just enjoy doing it and have fun. I got a great group of guys, you two, and then occasionally Dusty comes on when he's he's available. Free. Things, yeah.
What's he doing these days? I haven't talked to him in a while.
He left. He actually went to work for Smart Care for a while. So I'm not sure if he's still at Smart Care or what he's doing. So he came back to kitchens. He left racks, came back to kitchens. So I'm not sure. We'll have to have him. He can't do Wednesday nights, so maybe we'll do a Tuesday night or a weekend, something where you can just hang out and catch up with Dusty. Always love talking to him. He's a good guy. He's just all over the place.
Yeah.
So what we got going here? So Chris today is at Heatcraft for a tour and was told about a YouTube video they found where the person was getting critical of them. Turns out it was his video. Awkward, but turned out to be. That's great. That's great. Yeah, this guy was just awkward. This guy was just tearing us apart. Oh yeah, that was me. That's funny. So, all right, guys, we're coming up on an hour, but I really appreciate you guys taking time to come on. It's good to see Rich has a little free time tonight. And
I can't believe it's been an hour, bro. That flew by.
Yeah, once we got past the laughing fits of that one group and that one person with his 8,000-foot hoses.
And they're 1/4 inch, bro. That's the worst part.
No,
at least make them 1/2 inch hoses or something if you're gonna run them that long, bro. Like,
you need to go to that post and see if Total Tech liked it or commented so we can figure out who he really is. I gotta
Someone needs
figure
to track that dude down.
dude. I don't know. It's just it
You
is
know
what
what? Somebody needs to call Brett. Brett will find out who he is in 15 minutes.
Brett will be like fascinated. He'll be like, okay, mission accepted. Nice.
All right.
All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night, everybody. See you guys.
All right, y'all.